Ladies and gentlemen, just take a look around you. India is on the cusp of a big, fat catastrophe. It's called obesity. It's reached a level where the Prime Minister of the country has had to intervene and ask all citizens to cut their oil intake by at least 10%. And he has roped in celebrities to help him spread the word. Ladies and gentlemen, obesity is one of India's biggest health problems. 24% of all women in this country are either overweight or obese, and 23% of the men also fall in the same categories. India is the third most obese country in the world, behind the United States of America and China. 70% of urban India is obese or overweight. The Prime Minister's Fit India campaign is a much-needed intervention. Question is, will the lovers of chola bhatura and samosas and biryani actually listen to him? Before I get you our greasy truth, quickly listen in to what the Prime Minister's Fit ambassadors are saying this evening.
Obesity is a serious issue and it's beginning to seriously impact our part of the world too in an alarming way. And it's great to see our Prime Minister addressing it and raising awareness about something that's likely to affect us all. Our youth are leading the way, prioritizing fitness and healthy eating. Small changes matter. Swap unhealthy drinks for water. Take a walk. No extreme diets, just sustainable habits. Let's create a supportive environment at school, work, and in our communities. With our youth's energy, we can all be inspired. Let's move more, eat better, and build a healthier future together. A healthier India starts with us.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी मन की बात में हमेशा कोई ना कोई नया मुद्दा उठाते हैं और अभी उन्होंने बात की है ओबेसिटी के बारे में, तो मैं आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूं कि ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि अपनी हेल्थ का और अपने शरीर का हम ध्यान रखें, साथ में अपना भी और अपनी फैमिली का भी। तो मैं आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि अच्छा खाएं, कुछ ना कुछ स्पोर्ट अपनी लाइफ में ज़रूर जोड़ें। कोई भी हम काम करते हैं, कितने ही बिजी हैं, अपनी बॉडी को एक कुछ ना कुछ टाइम ज़रूर दें। 1 आवर 45 मिनट्स ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है। और ख़ासकर मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि जो बच्चे हैं छोटे, जो मोबाइल्स में पूरा दिन गेम खेलते हैं, मोबाइल्स में रहते हैं, वो ठीक है, टेक्नोलॉजी का ज़माना है, वो भी ज़रूरी है, लेकिन मैं चाहूँगा कि उसमें से ज़्यादातर टाइम जब खेलने का है तो उसको आउटडोर लेके जाएं और वो आउटडोर में खेल लें, उनके खाने पीने का ध्यान रखें। और बस मेरा सपना ये है कि हमारा देश बहुत ज़्यादा स्वस्थ हो, हेल्दी हो और हम सभी एकजुट होकर आगे बढ़ें।
Okay, now let's take a look at the numbers, because numbers tell the story. India consumes 260 lakh tons of edible oil annually. An average Indian consumes some 30 ml of oil daily, and that amounts to about 700 ml every month. But it is recommended that we only consume 20 ml of oil on a daily basis, which comes up to about half a liter every month. So an average Indian, if you do the math, is consuming approximately 200 ml of additional oil every month. You multiply it by 12 months, that is nearly 2.5 liters extra oil than recommended. And we know why it's bad. We know that excessive oil consumption can lead to bloating, to gas, to diarrhea, to acne, major diseases like diabetes, and even heart attacks in some cases. We'll speak to doctors here, but it's not like people should completely cut down on their oil. After all, it serves as a source of energy and lubricates the skin. The problem arises with the kind of oil that we eat. Presently, 38% of the oil that is used is edible palm oil. While palm oil is considered to be better than refined oil that was consumed by many Indian households in the previous century, palm oil still has its drawbacks. It can increase the risk of heart diseases and raises bad cholesterol. So it's very important to not just control the oil we consume, but also be wary of the kind of oil we consume. My guests are joining us this evening, but before I go to my guests, Sanjeev Kapoor is a celebrity chef. All of you know him. He's joining us on the broadcast. Sanjeev ji, you are one of India's first celebrity chefs. For years, you have been saying, please reduce your fat intake. Now the Prime Minister is saying it as well. Point is, sabko pata hai that oil is not your best friend. Yet we don't hesitate to OD on it because we equate the amount of oil that we use in our food to the taste of our food. कि बिना तेल के खाना अच्छा बनेगा कैसे? खाएगा कौन?
I think we all know, as you said, that why do we eat more oil than what is needed? See, if there is a reason that Prime Minister of a country is asking its citizens, so that means there is a health risk, which is true. So, for example, in India we consume more sugar than what we should. In India, we consume more sodium, more salt than we should, and we consume more fat than we should. So it is all about moderation. So there is a need to moderate, and for that, when it comes from the highest level, then people start to listen. People take note of it. It's something that all of us know, but it's a behavioral change, and behavioral change takes time. Behavioral change needs conversations, and when conversations are amplified, then there is some hope, because otherwise the cost, it's not just a personal cost, it's a cost to the state, it's a cost to the nation. So is it something that food cannot be made tasty without oil? Of course it can be made tasty. So let me ask you, do you like golgappe ka pani?
Yes.
Right? I guarantee that everyone loves
does.
it. Not even a drop of fat. Not even a drop of fat. Right? Why do we like it? Because it's tasty. Now, there are things that are cooked in fat. It gives that mouthfeel, it gives that crunch, it gives that crust, it gives... so fat has its role. So it's not... So Prime Minister is not asking that do not have fat. Saying cut down by 10%. Whatever you are eating, then have little less. And that's a very sensible thing to do, because most people... have much more than they should. So it's a great beginning. And also, when these kind of conversations happen, then there's a larger focus on health. And again, for health of a country depends on health of its citizens, right? So we talk of a 5 trillion economy. It cannot happen with unhealthy citizens. The cost is too huge to bear.
Okay, no, I understand that, completely understand that. And obesity in children is something that India seriously needs to start worrying right now. So for all the mums who are watching, any tips? Because they will say if you don't give your kids puri, or if you don't give them bhatura or chips, they will simply not eat. What do we do?
मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि आप जितनी भी क्वांटिटी डाल रहे हैं, आप 2 चम्मच डाल रहे हैं, तो आपने उसका अगर 1 चम्मच हो जाएगा तो 50% कम हो गया, राइट? 1.5 चम्मच डाल रहे हैं तो 25% कम हो, वो तो बहुत कम करना है. समझो बात, पहली बात, राइट? It is a change that is not perceptible unless you tell everyone. So just do it. एक दूसरा, जब बाहर जाते हैं ना, मैं सबको ये बताता हूं कि कभी भी लोग बोलते हैं थोड़ा कम डालना. मैं कहता हूं जब भी होटल रेस्टोरेंट में जाऊं, बोलो कि डोसा खाना ना बिना तेल के बनाना. क्यों? क्योंकि फिर भी थोड़ा कम डालेंगे. सर बिना कैसे? मैं बहुत सालों से ना होटल रेस्टोरेंट में जाता हूं, अगर ऐसे नाश्ते में बुफे में है तो मैं कहूंगा अच्छा बिना तेल के डोसा. सर कैसे बनाएंगे? फिर मेरी तरफ शक्ल देखते हैं, मैं कहता हूं मैं बना, नहीं सर, हाँ सर, राइट? सो इट इज पॉसिबल. It is not difficult at all. Just, again, I'm repeating it, do not fear it. Do not over-intellectualize it. Just do it. It's very simple. Believe it कि टेस्ट में कोई फर्क नहीं आने वाला. अगर गलती से कुछ आ गया, बोलो रोज जैसा बाकी तो सब कुछ था, आज संजीव कपूर ने कुछ बोला था, वो उस वजह से गड़बड़ हो गई, तो मुझे ब्लेम करना, बट करो जरूर.
Okay, Sanjeev Kapoor, thank you very much for your time. Always good to have you on the show. Dr. Prashant Panwar is a consultant at the Interventional Cardiology Department at Fortis Hospital. Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us on the broadcast. We have Dr. Shikha Sharma, who's a senior nutritionist. She's joining us on the broadcast as well. Dr. Shikha, I'm going to start with you for obvious reasons. A lot of people are watching this broadcast and showing us fry baturas and puris and saying, "Tel to kharab hai, to humko pata hai." The Prime Minister is also saying, "Cut down on oil." घी खा सकते हैं, घी तो अमृत होता है. I want to ask you if this diktat of cutting down 10% oil also includes ghee, and whether oil and ghee are the only culprits when it comes to obesity.
So firstly, I'd say that, the Honorable Prime Minister, like there was Mahatma Gandhi who had started the Salt March. I think the Honorable Prime Minister very brilliantly has brought a focus to one ingredient in our diets, which if we change, we can really become healthy. So yes, when we talk about oils, it's not just about oil, it's refined oil, it is cold pressed oil, it is ghee, and they all have different kind of essential fatty acids. The biggest thing what we need to look at is, yes, ghee is amrit, but it doesn't mean we swim in amrit. We have to have it like very little, so that and also we have to have the right kind of ghee, which is organic, which is not having because ghee is a dairy product, and if the cow is eating a lot of chemicals, then the ghee does get affected also. So organic, small quantity ghee is very good. The second thing which I would like to say is that a lot of refined oil with a lot of palm oil mix. So when you're buying oil, it's not necessary that you are having a seed oil. There is a lot of palm oil also in that, and that is also a problem because palm oil is cheaper. It is mixed with many of the refined oils. Another thing which is a problem is the refining process, which uses a lot of harmful chemicals. That also needs to be changed because in food processing industry, we need several changes, improvements, so that like we have food processing industry needing improvement, we also have oil industry needing improvements in the way they are processing. The third thing I would say is that never forget that the best oils are in its original form, like peanuts. The best oil you'll find in peanuts. So if you have a handful of peanuts every day, it has the best oil. If one can afford almonds or sesame seeds, flax seeds, alsi ka dana. Now, alsi ka dana is given to cows because it gives better yield of milk. But it's also excellent for human beings. And it's very good for polycystic ovary. So I think what we really have to see is that essential fatty acids are important for our bodies. There has to be a diversity coming from different oils. And we have to go as natural as possible and less processed. So if we go to having a handful of peanuts for snacks, if we have like that 5 badam, 1 akroot every day, if we make sure that we are not having too much of refined oil, but we are having kachi ghani oil, which is cold pressed oil, we'll be in a good space and we don't need to eat so much of oil. The taste will be better.
Okay. Dr. Prashant Panwar, hi. Vishal Malhotra, welcoming you to the show as well. I just saw you on my screens. Vishal Malhotra, actor, joining us on the broadcast. Vishal, before I come to you, I'll go to the good doctor. Dr. Pawar, we understand that the Prime Minister is saying cut down on 10% of your oil consumption. That's not much of an ask, honestly. If you ask me, it'll hardly make a difference to our taste. And if India's best-known chef is saying it, then I have to believe that it is true. But here's what I'm trying to ask you, Dr. Pawar. Is oil the only culprit here? Or is there a problem with eating the sort of junk food that we are eating? Is there a problem with the consumption of bakery products that we eat which are full of palm oil? We are making oil the villain here, but is it the only villain?
See, oil is an ingredient, but what you are saying is all this junk food, what all processed food, or what all the dairy products or bakery products especially, they are rich with trans fat, When we say oil, it's a broad terminology. We doctors divide it as whether it is a trans fat. Trans fat usually comes from all these bakery products. Sometimes they may come from animals like margarine, or it may come from vegetable like dalda, vanaspati ghee, which we hardly buy nowadays. So that bakery product, that is the main problem, which causes those blocks what we get in heart attack patients. Those are all because of all this trans fat. Second, we have something good oil, Now doctor just spoke about good oils. We have monounsaturated fatty acids. So MUFA, what we call a PUFA. Nowadays, you have seen a lot of advertise of saffovas going on with PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acid. They have a good fats. They are omega-3 fatty acids, omega-6 fatty acid, which are good for our body. But unfortunately, because of cost cutting in our country, a lot of oils are mixed, lot of oils are adulterated with all this palm oil and other things just to cut down on the cost. So all oils are not bad oils. Definitely, it's not only the oil, but definitely what you rightly said is this all bakery products, all these cheese, butter, ghee, they are all culprits, So definitely we should cut down on this processed food, go for as far as possible natural diet, go for the low fat diets, or our cooking habit, especially in our country, is more of fried, tadka wala. So you have to change the, just now Chef Sanjeev sir said about how to have a low oil dosa, or oil free dosa. So that how our modern moms have to learn all this newer recipes which will help their kids to prevent this obesity and other problems.
And India is getting fatter. If you look at the data that is coming to us, within 5 years, you are seeing, Vishal Malhotra, the fact that in men and in women, obesity rates in urban India have actually gone up 5%. Within 5 years, that's the worry. Vishal Malhotra, I want to ask you this. The Prime Minister is saying, oil come cow, cut down on 10% of your oil. He has roped in a lot of celebrities, who are very fit and who all of us know and recognize. My point is, many people will look at someone like you, Vishal, and say, he's an actor, isko to fit rehna hi hai, ye to kam tel khayega and he will exercise. Hame kya karna? And while the Prime Minister may say, please bhaiya samosa mat khao, salad kha lo, the fact is that our country loves food too much to give up on even that 10% of oil. I want to ask you what you think the future of Fit India is going to be.
Well, firstly, Shreya, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you and all these amazing guests. I'm not an expert in this topic, but it's very sweet of you, and I love the way that you've conducted your work over the last few years. But firstly, I commend the Prime Minister's initiative of, at least trying. It's not a big deal. I actually, I'm lucky about the fact that, yes, you are right. There is a consensus that as being an actor, my profession has pushed me towards taking healthier options vis-a-vis food and exercise because it's a part of my profession. But it's become a lifestyle for me. I can only share that I don't eat food in oil at all. I have my entire day's food, all my meals, which is usually 4 or 5 meals, in 1 teaspoon of ghee. And honestly, I never found the difference. In fact, it tastes even better. So I would actually go one step forward and request everybody, ye try karo. Also get the right ghee. As far as your questions about samosas and jalebis and kachoris, well, those are my favorites too. I was right now in Prayagraj, and it was amazing the amount of kachoris that I ate along with good jalebis. But once in a while, it's all right. And balanced reduction is also great. So I feel that this 10% reduction is very, very possible. And I feel that we must encourage each other, our parents' generations, our peers, our friends, our colleagues, to do the same. Because at the end of the day, it will only benefit your health in the long term. And that's my humble opinion.
As a parent, do you worry about the amount of junk food your kid is consuming? Because when the Prime Minister talks of oil, fact is junk food is drenched in oil. If you're eating chips, you're eating palm oil. If you're eating bread, you're eating palm oil. If you're eating, biscuits from the best brands, you're eating palm oil.
Yeah, so I am concerned, but I come from an upbringing where we have absolutely dug into the amazing recipes of our grandmothers, where you can actually make all these amazing fried trinkets in your house, which will avoid a huge amount of the trans oils and the bad stuff and actually keep it to the minimal. So, all these packaged foods and all the biscuits that you're talking about are not exactly something that we need to dwell into all the time. There are great amount of remedies, there are great amount of alternatives in our own history and our own recipes. So if you just Google it a little bit, and you'll find all the recipes available, and search for it. You'll find healthier alternatives which are even tastier. So just a little effort will go a long way in making your health in longer terms and in longevity better.
Dr. Shikha, I'm going to give you the last word. Would you want to say anything to the viewers of Mirror Now who are joining us right now, looking at this debate? Right now, they've heard from all of you. They've heard from Vishal, who doesn't eat oil at all except 1 chammach of ghee. He's heard from you. He's heard from the good doctor. You are telling us that you cannot be floating in ghee. The good doctor is telling us, kuch tel achhe hote hain, some oils are good, please consume them. I want to ask you if there is something you want to tell our viewers to clear the air, as it were. What would you say to them right now?
Yeah, so I think I would say that I think it's very important to understand that reducing 10% oil is very, very doable, and small changes can have a huge impact on the health. And of course, with that, I would also say start with an ABC juice, which is amla, beetroot, carrot every day, so that you get your natural multivitamins through vegetable juices also. So 10% reduction in oil and this kind of ABC juice, amla, beetroot, carrot, and you are at least a good start for a healthy day.
All right, try giving ABCD juice to little kids. You'll get an XYZ. But anyway, it's worth a try. It's worth a try. No, we've tried. Doesn't work. Vishal, you have good kids. If they'll love it. Thank you very much. Thanks, Vishal, for joining us. Dr. Shikha, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Shikha and Dr. Pawar. Thank you very much for joining us. This has been a good discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have taken away something from this discussion. All we urge you to do is cut down on at least 10% of the oil that you consume every day. It'll have great benefits. And go for a walk if you can. Thank you very much for watching. Good night. Shreya Dhoundial is joining you next.